For 48 years, one Supreme Court judgment has shaped who counts as a worker under Indian labor law. Now, a 9 judge constitution bench has heard extensive arguments for 3 days and reserved its verdict on whether that landmark 1978 ruling in the Bangalore water supply versus A. Rajappa by 7 judges still holds. Hello and welcome to The Print. I am Ruchi Bhattar, and let's look at the case and how this decision of the Supreme Court on a major constitutional question will have wide ramifications for India's most integral labor prospects. A lot of institutions that do not look like factories are today treated as industry if they run in an organized way, employ staff, and provide services. If the definition is reconsidered or narrowed, this fundamentally could mean entire sectors could move outside industrial labor law. If an institution is held not to be an industry, then many employees there may lose access to Industrial Dispute Act type remedies and parallel protections under the new labor code framework depending on implementation. Here's what the 1978 judgment did. It created a famous triple test for deciding what is an industry under the Industrial Disputes Act, a definition that decides which workers are entitled to labor law protections. If there is a systematic activity, employer employee cooperation, and production or distribution of goods or services for human wants, the organization may qualify as an industry even without the profit motive. And that broad definition brought a huge range of institutions, from hospitals and educational bodies to welfare organizations and some government entities, within the scope of labor protections. A call to relook at this judgment started in 2002 when the 1978 verdict by a 7 judge Supreme Court bench was challenged by a petition by the state of Uttar Pradesh in the case of State of UP versus Jaybir Singh in the top court. Later, in 2005, describing the Bangalore water supply case as a docket explosion, a 5 judge bench termed the verdict too worker oriented and referred this petition to a larger bench to reconsider. In 2017, a Supreme Court bench of 7 judges decided that the issue needs to be relooked at. And over the last 3 days, a bench of CJI Suryakant, along with Justice B.V. Nagaratna, P.S. Narasimha, Dipankar Datta, Ujjal Bhuyan, Satish Chandra Sharma, Joymala Bagchi, Alok Aradhe, and Vipul M. Pancholi, heard arguments on whether industry remains broad or the definition should be narrowed. What were these arguments? On day one, the central government pushed for reconsideration, arguing that the 1978 interpretation is too expansive and creates uncertainty and can discourage private participation, public welfare delivery by exposing too many institutions to industrial dispute litigation. The union and several states told the court that although the Bangalore water supply triple test remains conceptually valid, courts have applied it so broadly over the years that too many bodies are being treated as an industry. They asked the bench to lay down clearer standards for identifying sovereign functions and to narrow the reach of the definition. Advocates also argued that the interpretation should be brought back closer to the wording of the statute and confined mainly to activities that have a clear commercial or business character. The center also pointed to later legislative developments, including the never enforced 1982 amendment and the Industrial Relations Code 2020, to argue that the law has moved beyond the old framework. On day two, the court focused on the hardest boundary questions. Can charitable organizations, professions, legal bodies, or temples be excluded just because they are not commercial? Senior advocate Indira Jaisingh argued that they cannot be automatically kept out if workers are employed in organized activity. The bench also examined the old exception for sovereign functions, asking what exactly counts as core state activity and what government functions are actually closer to regular employment and service delivery. On day three, the debate turned constitutional and more practical. The court rejected the argument that the reference itself was not maintainable, signaling it will answer the issue on merits, And by the end of the hearing, the bench reserves its judgment in what could become one of the most important labor law rulings in decades to come. So, what exactly could this judgment do? If the court upholds the Bangalore water supply verdict, labor law protections may continue to apply broadly across non traditional employers, including many service, welfare, and institutional sectors. That would also preserve access to industrial adjudication for a wider class of workers. If the court narrows the definition, however, entire sectors, especially charitable, religious, educational, professional, or welfare linked bodies, and some even governmental departments, could move outside the labor law net. That would directly affect who can invoke industrial dispute protections, reinstatement claims, and collective labor remedies. A major breakthrough in the 1978 verdict was the declaration that the profit motive was irrelevant. The court ruled that even if an organization is governed by a no profit, no loss rule or is motivated by philanthropy, it does not cease to be an industry if it meets the triple test. They specifically contended that charitable hospitals, schools, and liberal professions like law and medicine should be excluded because the contribution of the employees to the final profession service is so marginal that the end product cannot be viewed as the fruit of cooperation between the employer and the employee. This is one of the core questions framed by the court itself as to what exactly is a sovereign function and which state activities fall outside the labor law because they are truly governmental. Essentially, if the judgment is corrected, it will decide not just what is an industry, but who is legally recognized as a workman worth protecting. And that could redraw the map of labor rights in India. With that, thank you for watching.